Hey everybody, it is Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2. And man oh man, is it a great day here in the United States. I mean, come on. Justice Thomas wrote one awesome opinion in the New York Pistol and Rifle Association case. And I want to talk a little bit about that. But man, when I heard the news, I was really excited. My biggest fear was that the case was going to be a narrow ruling, just dealing with that particular case. But we didn't get that. We got a broad ruling. And the broad ruling we were hoping. And I think this was a long time in the making. So I have a lot of things to say about it. Sorry for my stutter there. Yes, I tell you guys, I actually am a stutterer. And sometimes I even have to edit my videos because I stutter like I just did. But anyway, I'm out here in the garage tonight filming a range report on the B&T APC 300. And let me tell you, this gun actually really impressed me. I like this a lot better than the APC 223. This one, really nice. So that's what I'm out here doing tonight. But I wanted to talk about the opinion, as I said. And it's one of those things where I think Justice Thomas was listening to the gun debate. You know, he doesn't chime in because of his position. But, you know, there's a couple things in the Heller and the McDonald decision that anti-gunners kind of sunk their teeth into and their claws into. And a couple of the things, and he addresses them. One is that the anti-gunners, even Joe Biden, like to say, the Second Amendment isn't absolute. And Thomas addresses this and saying that it's not absolute. However, it's not a second-class right. It's a first-class right. That's amazing. That's awesome, because ever since the Heller decision, the lower courts have been doing this two-tiered system of deciding if a gun control law is an infringement of the Second Amendment, and then they go to the next step on what degree is the government allowed to infringe upon. Strict scrutiny, intermediate scrutiny, and so forth. And a lot of these assault weapons bans and, you know, bans on magazines like this one here from, you know, Brownworks. Take a look at that awesome logo, Texas Gun Vault logo. So in the states where all these are banned, they've all been upheld using intermediate scrutiny, because the courts will play word games, be like, well, they're not banning magazines, you just can't have one more than 10 rounds, and the government's trying to prevent mass shootings, or whatever it is. So we can ban them. Same thing goes with particular firearms, just because the government feels a certain way. Well, Thomas was like, nope, can't do that. It's a one-level test, and it's text and history. So you can look at the Second Amendment. Does it infringe upon the Second Amendment? And the history. So if historically it was not something that was passed, or you can't do it. So I think the biggest thing about today's ruling is not going to be the overturning of the May issue licenses from New York, New Jersey, Hawaii, D.C. It's going to be a year or two from now when the cases that are going to try to overturn the magazine capacity limits and the assault weapons bans are going to go down. So I think Thomas set that up for the lower courts to have to do that. That is the most amazing takeaway from this. I'm also blown away by Sam Alito's concurring opinion, which really wasn't an opinion in support of the majority opinion, which he also voted for, but it was a scathing rebuke of the dissent, going through all the stuff that the dissent talked about, saying, well, you know, states are trying to battle the epidemic of gun violence, and there's suicides with guns, so therefore we should be allowed to ban things. And he's like, no, that has nothing to do with the case at hand, the concealed carry case at hand in New York, because people being allowed to carry outside their homes with a permit, so it's not constitutional carry, has no bearing on things like suicide. So bringing that up is ridiculous, and that was an awesome concurring opinion. Even John Roberts, who's honestly a big-time squish when it comes to many things. I haven't really thought of him as a conservative in a long time. He voted for this. And because he voted in the majority, he let Thomas write the opinion. Because whenever the Chief Justice is in the majority of an opinion, he can assign who writes that opinion. And he gave it to Thomas, knowing what Thomas was going to do, and he even signed on to it. So that's mind-boggling. 6-3. It's not a 5-4 decision. It was a 6-3 decision. And so another thing that Thomas addresses, which is awesome, is he says that the Second Amendment needs to be put in context in the 21st century the same way that it applied back in the 18th century. And essentially saying that the Second Amendment does not only pertain to the weapons of 1791. It goes beyond that. So that it is applicable to today's weapons. Because sometimes the anti-gunners, besides saying it's not absolute, well, when the Second Amendment was ratified, they only had muskets. You know, we've all heard that argument. And Thomas is like, nope, it doesn't apply just to muskets, just like the First Amendment doesn't apply just to quill and ink. You know, it applies to the internet, it applies to cell phones, it applies to a whole bunch of things. So, yeah, he dissected those arguments. And I honestly think in the history of his tenure there at the court, this is probably going to be the landmark case he's probably going to be most known for. Just like anytime you think of Antonin Scalia, you think immediately of Heller. And all the things that the anti-gunners have been saying and screaming about, trying to use Heller for their purposes. Well, it says that long-standing prohibitions on dangerous and unusual weapons is allowed. Thomas essentially rebukes that and goes through it and says dangerous and unusual, not just dangerous. And it's awesome. It's awesome. So the biggest thing that's going to happen with this is not going to be just the permitting system in those states and in D.C. It's going to be what's going to happen in a year or 2 years from now. So I really think that if you want to see the assault weapons bans get taken down, if you want to see the magazine capacity limits go away, you need to donate some money to the people that are actually going to be fighting these causes. So whatever your favorite pro-gun organization is, maybe think about throwing them a few bucks, because their attorneys now are going to be hard at work fighting for your rights. So if you're a GOA fan, donate to the GOA. If you're an FPC fan, donate to the FPC. If you're the National Association of Gun Rights, do that. I don't care what organization you support. Just support somebody, because attorneys are not cheap. And now it's time for us to start filing lawsuits all over the country to undo these gun control laws, which the lower courts can no longer uphold on intermediate scrutiny. It's going to be awesome. And I think that's where the next battle is going to be. So today is a great day for the Second Amendment. And the Second Amendment is here to stay, for a while at least. So, yeah, what is just awesome. If you guys are legal geeks like I am, I highly recommend going and downloading the opinion. I believe it's 103 pages or 133 pages, something like that. I'm like through the first, I think 42 pages is what I'm through right now. And Thomas is a great writer. He goes through the history of the carrying of weapons outside the home, going all the way back to the 12th century. It's pretty awesome. And, yeah, it's awesome. Great day here in America. The Second Amendment lives. So let me know what you think. Are you guys as excited as I am? I hope so. But I got to get filming this awesome video on this amazing firearm. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching.